WWE Payback took place tonight. You started the show off with the pre-show, and when I was sticking into it, when I was again watching the show, I couldn't get into it at first because I don't want to watch a show. I just saw the second biggest show of the year, I guess second or third. With SummerSlam, why the hell do I want another show like a week after SummerSlam? I'm good. I don't want to watch another show. I can use a good break. I feel like they've been giving us a lot of breaks this year. Give me a 4 or 5 week break. I'm back into it. I don't want to watch another show right after SummerSlam. So I thought the show was not necessary and I wasn't not interested. I feel like it was built around one match. Well, I think it served two purposes. To put the belt on Roman Reigns, and that's number one. And number two is to screw with AEW to make people sick of wrestling, so it hurts their buy rate next week. That's what I think it was. The main event, you could have done this on SmackDown. It would have been a great rating. It probably would have done really well. Could have worked well. Instead, they had to do it on this show. I was not into it. I didn't want to watch a show after SummerSlam. So you had the kickoff show and you have a match. You had Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan taking on the IIconics. Ruby and Liv come out, Liv looking good, and Peyton and Royce looking really hot, as is Billie with the IIconics. They come out next, and the match is not good. There was a lot of botches, a lot of messed up. Ruby was the best worker here. Second was Peyton. Billie's horrendous in the ring. Liv is alright. She tries, but she's not very good. Just so much botches, so much misplaces. It could have gone either way. It got a little bit fun at the end, but it was just not. It was just very average. Ruby Riott pins Billie Kay, and Ruby and Liv get the win here. So we'll see if the Riott Squad gets a decent push. Maybe they get a tag team title. I'd rather see them than Shayna, and that's the worst team ever. I don't like them. So, show starts off. You have the U.S. title match. You have Apollo Crews challenging Bobby Lashley. I didn't care. I could not give two shits about this match. I don't care about Bobby Lashley. I don't care about MVP. I do not care about Apollo Crews. Why would anyone care? This was on my phone the whole match. I could not get into this to save my life. This was just a nothing match to me. Bobby Lashley wins. He gets a full Nelson. He submits Apollo Crews. So Bobby Lashley's your new U.S. champ, and Her Business celebrated to take 3 pictures. And I thought it was kind of cool. The third picture they took was I guess they did the Wakanda Forever thing, and the Wakanda Forever is good because, that Chadwick Boseman, the man who plays the Black Panther, just passed away. I think he passed away yesterday, and he had colon cancer. He died from colon cancer. No one knew he had colon cancer. I don't think anyone had any idea. It was never publicly. I don't follow Hollywood or anything like that, but I was shocked they had it for 4 years because I guess that means he filmed Black Panther with colon cancer and those Avengers movies after that, all with colon cancer. So rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. This was a nice tribute to him they did at the end. But Apollo attacks Bobby and sets up the match for another time, a rematch. Big E and Sheamus, I didn't give a shit about this. I'm not into Big E. I'm soured on him. I'm like playing a race card and stuff with Kofi. Kofi was a horrible fucking champion last year. He sucked. His ratings sucked. His matches were shit on pay-per-view. He had a great match with Bryan, and every single match he had after that was a piece of shit. He stunk it up on every show. The ratings were awful. No one cared. He bombed as champ. He was a horrible champ. It was a great moment when he won the belt. It was a horrible one of the worst ones in modern history. I'm so sick of him, trying to use the race card. Oh, he had to wait 11 years. No, he was like a jobber in a mid-carder. And I like Kofi, and I'm sure Kofi didn't like Big E saying this, but Big E really rubbed me the wrong way. I was wishing Sheamus would win, but Big E won. I didn't care about this. Matt Riddle and King Corbin. Oh, God. Why do you have to torture me with watching Baron Corbin on TV? Watching Baron Corbin. That's just torture, making me watch a pay-per-view of Baron Corbin. His matches last forever. I can't care. I like Matt Riddle, but it's Baron Corbin. How do you destroy Matt Riddle's momentum? Have him feud with Baron Corbin for 2 fucking months so no one can watch. What a fucking joke. Put him with Baron Corbin. No one cares. I don't care who it is. I don't care if you have fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin. If he's wrestling Baron Corbin, I don't care. Sorry, that's the truth. I don't care. You wrestle Baron Corbin, I do not give a shit. Alright? Matt Riddle beat Baron Corbin. I didn't care. It's Baron Corbin, King Corbin, whatever. Next, you had the Women's Tag Team title match. I thought probably one of the best matches, probably the second best match behind the main event. That was Bayley and Sasha Banks defending their titles against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. So Bayley and Sasha come out. The champs come out first, and Sasha's wearing an interesting gear. I guess it was like leggings on one side, but hey, Sasha Banks, doesn't matter what she wears, she always looks smoking hot. They come out first, then Nia and Shayna come out. And this was a good matchup. Bayley and Sasha worked really well here. They're both very good. I hate Nia Jax. She's the absolute worst. Shayna's a good worker for the little experience she really has. Well, maybe not some. She's actually been wrestling for a few years now. Actually, several years maybe now. They did well. They had a good matchup here. Not great, but it was a good match. They did solid. There was some near falls. It looked like Bayley and Sasha were winning for sure at one point, and then Nia and Shayna came back. Not a fan of the pairing, just I don't like Nia. This was alright. There was some spots where it got fun, and there was a great ending. So what you had was Bayley lock, Shayna lock Sasha Banks in sort of like this. Forget that submission, but kind of in a sharpshooter position with her legs, and she's going to go back and do that submission where you bend backwards and grab the neck back. Forget what that's called, but instead she puts Shayna in the submission, in the Kuda clutch, and look really cool because she has Sasha's legs trapped, and she has Bayley. She puts Bayley in the Kuda clutch, so Shayna has both of them trapped, and then Sasha is trying to help Bayley, but then instead of helping Bayley, Shayna uses Sasha's arm to put extra pressure on Bayley and choke Bayley, so Sasha's choking Bayley, and Bayley taps, and Bayley and Sasha lose their belts. A disaster. They fell from grace. They had all the belts, now they have no belts. Hopefully we see them just on SmackDown. I'd like to see them on SmackDown. I prefer just watching them there. I don't think they need to be on Raw and SmackDown, but they've been great this year in terms. They've had to be both the MVPs of the women's division, appearing on both shows and doing double duty like that, but I think you can just keep them on SmackDown now, and hopefully Shayna and Nia are champs for much longer. Then give it to Ruby and Liv, or take the IIconics. I don't want to see Nia Jax on my TV. That's just where I am, and I don't mean to be rude, but Nia Jax is clearly a lot bigger now. She's put on quite a bit of weight. But, yeah, new champs. I thought the match was good. Mainly because of the ending. Next, you had Randy Orton and Keith Lee. I thought this was alright. So, I hate Keith Lee's music. Everyone loves the bask in his glory. This just turns into, it's like this, almost a Brock Lesnar type theme song. Just a generic big man, tough guy type theme song that they've used a million times for every single big jack, tough guy type music. They've used this type of shit, and it just sucks because the Bask in His Glory is part of his character, and don't underestimate how much a theme song means to a guy, especially Keith Lee. Keith Lee is, he has a lot of charisma, but that theme song is huge in terms of getting him over. That's just the kind of song that have fans the night after WrestleMania singing that. So you can't underestimate how powerful a theme song can be in terms of getting a guy over and, stripping him of that and then changing his look. He looks like Kevin Owens. Basically, he's wearing the same gear as Kevin Owens. They have him in basketball shorts and, a muscle shirt. That's what he's wearing. He looks exactly like Kevin Owens, like he's going to work out. They give him that look, and I guess he's too fat because Vince doesn't like that. It's unfortunate. I don't think he's gonna get over much on the main roster. I don't think it's gonna go much longer for Keith Lee. I know it's sad because he had that great debut at Survivor Series and at the Rumble, but in this match, I think Keith Lee looked all right here. I thought the match was good, not great. I thought Randy does well. I don't think Randy should be losing, but I hope he wins the belt. I would like to see Randy as champ because he's had such a great year. I think he should be the one to beat True. I'm sure maybe they have the match at Hell in a Cell. That's where he gets the belt. But that's almost like 2 months away. It's a long time. This was good, but not great. So Keith Lee gets the win. He wins with the Spirit Bomb. Then you had Dominik and Rey Mysterio against Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy, and probably the longest match ever. This felt like an eternity to watch. The big story here was the ending. Or not the ending, how it started was the dissension between Murphy and Seth. Murphy messes up and Seth's furious. They beat up Ray. They beat up Dominik. They make Ray watch Dominik get beat up. They're going to push Dominik. I don't know. Maybe they can give Ray and Dominik a title run, a tag title run, because I don't see why not at this point. They could do well as champs, but the match went on way too long. It felt just like the week before. Seth and Dominik went on for an eternity. That did not need to be 22 minutes. You could have cut that off by 7 minutes. This was the same thing here. This was very long. Went on for a while. I didn't understand why it had to go so long, but it did. But eventually Ray and Dominik win. Dominik pins Murphy, hits the 619, his father's finisher, he hits Uncle Eddie's finisher, the Frog Splash. Pins Murphy, 1, 2, 3, Dominik and Ray get the win. Big win for Dominik. Looks like they might push him. They go backstage, you see Kayla Braxton. I love seeing Kayla, and she asks him if Reigns signed a contract, and he did. And of course, you know how this ends. So the main event is a triple threat match, but Roman doesn't come out. The Fiend comes out first, he's the champ, and then he gets jumped right away by Braun. And it's the Fiend and Braun. And one thing I knew for sure Reigns is winning about, why didn't they give the Fiend belt back to Bray, the Fiend? You know, the Fiend custom belt with that looks really awesome. Where is it? Why don't we see it? Why isn't that there? Why does he have the blue belt? Why didn't he get the old Fiend belt? That tells me they didn't want to bring it back because he's probably going to lose the belt, and that's what happened. Match started off just Braun and Bray beating each other up, just like last week. There was, they beat each other up. Bray does that rock palm, whatever move he does to Braun through a table. Then the Fiend actually gets a mallet out, gonna kill Braun with a mallet. He can't use it, but he eventually does use it, and he hits him in the chest. They fight, then they fight through the Titantron. They go through a table, and twice in the match we see Alexa Bliss, who has that braid in her hair, and she has the Harley Quinn, which looks really good. I like her better, I don't like... Well, I don't know. I mean, Alexa Bliss, whatever she does, she's going to look beautiful. She's just a gorgeous human being. She's smoking hot. Doesn't matter, but I do like the hair down. I like that look better than the old Harley Quinn look. And I don't know why they couldn't have her do this at SummerSlam, looking at the monitor. That was the first time she wasn't featured at SummerSlam, but we see her twice looking at the monitor. She never interferes. She doesn't make a run-in. I guess she'll be obsessed with the Fiend in the next feud. So they smash through the stage. They go through a table. It's a cool spot. They beat each other up some more. Eventually, they make their way back to the ring, and that's when Braun gets on the top rope, but Bray stops him, and then Bray hits a superplex, and right before Bray hits a superplex, I knew, all right, they're going to smash the ring, and Reigns is going to pick up the pieces. That's how it's going to be. They did this a couple times. Like, Brock and Big Show was the first one. It's like when they killed the ring, and that was like one of the coolest spots ever. Because we never saw anything like that. I remember watching it on Smack, and I was a kid just going crazy. Then they did it with Mark Henry in a Big Show several years later. That was pretty cool. That was a cool spot. And that was even the main event, so they actually had to have the next match with the Destroyed Ring. That was a cool spot. Then Braun and Big Show. Braun destroys the Big Show, and now they do Bray and Braun, or the Fiend and Braun. Braun takes the bump. I knew it would smash. It didn't get destroyed as much as it did before. It was a break, but then it just completely imploded. But the referee takes a back bump out, so everything's destroyed. We know Roman's coming. Roman comes out with the contract. Heyman's there. Heyman has the contract. Roman signs the contract. Roman enters the match, and we know he's going to win. They get a referee out. He pins the Fiend. The Fiend kicks out. He pins Braun. Braun kicks out. And then he uses a chair on both guys, beats him down, pins Braun again, but Braun kicks out, and then the Fiend gets the mandible claw, but Reigns hits a low blow, and the Fiend is out. Fiend falls over, and the Fiend was basically out of the match. Reigns then sees Braun, still barely able to get up. Reigns hits a spear on Braun Strowman. Roman Reigns pins Braun Strowman, 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns, your new Universal Champ. First time he's been champ since I think he relinquished the belt when he had leukemia 2 years ago. Oh, God, that was a while. It's already been 2 years, or almost 2 years, close to 2 years. He's champ. I think it's a good choice. I have no problem with Roman Reigns as champ again. We'll see what heel Roman Reigns is going to do. I think he's definitely a heel. He has to be a heel. They can't sugarcoat this. He's a heel. They have to go all the way with him being a heel. They can't go back and forth. He's the top heel. It looks like the Fiend will be the top babyface. They might have a feud, but Roman Reigns is a heel now. He's with Paul Heyman. He's a Paul Heyman guy. Well, I don't know what this means with Brock Lesnar, but he's a Paul Heyman guy. He's a heel. He's the Universal Champ. He won in a heelish fashion. Heel Roman Reigns is finally here. They never had the guts to turn John Cena heel, but they did finally turn Roman Reigns heel.